Greetings, everybody. This is just a short tutorial video. For those that um, would like to learn how to, at least begin to learn how to study the stars and these types of things in the aspect of astronomy. I'm not talking astrology here. Okay, okay. I just wanted to clear that up because I think it is important that we know um, the the constellations, the spring equinoxes and the fall equinoxes, because that goes according to not the Jewish calendar that is kept today, but it goes according to the true biblical calendar, which is always done by using the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay, and obviously in Genesis 1:14 it talks about um, that He gave us uh, the luminaries, the sun, the moon, the stars, for signs, which can mean warnings or omens or signs, signals, prophecy, prophecy in the stars, essentially, and these types of things. But these, but the stars and the moon and the sun, the moon and the sun both are to be used. A lot of people like to stay away from using the sun because a lot of people like to equate the sun with just paganism. You don't want to have anything to do with the sun as regard as telling time or anything. That's not true. Okay, who is greater, the created or the creator? So obviously, he put the sun and the moon and the stars there for a purpose, and they're for signs, for seasons, days, months, and years. And constellations were there for a reason, and in the midst of doing my mega series, Monarchy of Israel, that I'm working on, um, I will be putting up little studies here regarding the zodiac, the Mazzaroth, and what it meant in biblical times, and stuff like that. But this is just going to be a quick tutorial. So here is a stellarium.org. This is where you would go. You would just type in Stellarium, and then you would go to www.stellarium.org. And it's got the latest version, for Linux, Mac OS X, Windows 32-bit, Windows 64-bit, Beta. There's a user guide right here you can click on if, for any further references. You got the system requirements here. So all you would do is, this is where you would go to download it. Okay. Um, okay, so what do you do to download this? Well, depending on what PC program you're using, whether it be Windows, Mac OS, uh, Windows 32-bit, Windows 64-bit, which is basically Windows 7 and above, you will click on one of these icons and it'll automatically download for you. And you go through the process of installing it, go through all of that. And then this is what you will get. This is Stellarium, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enlarge this here. And obviously here is a view of the sky. Now, you can set this up wherever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be here at Jerusalem. I just got to set here at Jerusalem for, just to see when the months begin over there and everything like that. According to the true reckoning of time, which is in the stars. And so here is all the information right here. If you got you can switch from full screen to short screen. You can fast forward into the future to find out when future equinoxes and such like will take place, or you can go backwards as far as you want, in pretty good accuracy. Um, it's not as high-tech advanced as Starry Night, which is a software I do plan on getting in the near future, but this does serve its purpose well, with constant updates and everything. So basically here you got your constellation lines. All you got to do is click on that. You'll see the lines of the constellations that appear. Um, if you want the labels to see what they are, all you have to do is click on the labels and they'll all pop up. This would be like the sky view of you viewing the sky, what it would look like. And if you want to put the art in there, you can go ahead and put the art in there. Now, if you just want to look at the sky itself, obviously this is the horizon. And you didn't want the landscape here. You just get rid of that. And get rid of the day and nighttime sun. And basically you will see the horizon still here to kind of guide you. Now, what I like to do is I like to go here every time I pull this software up. And you got like the location window. So let's say if you want, let's see, type in for where I'm from, New Baltimore. Let's see if it'll pop up. I'm not sure if it will, folks, because I don't think I put that in there. Then you would go here, and let's see, go all the way down until you see United States. Click on that, and well, let's just go. Or you can put the arrow over here to Michigan, and you'll be right there. You can add this to the list, and it'll pop up right there and it'll be saved. Okay. Now, since we have that taken care of, this is the sky as it is shown to us in in my hometown, New Baltimore. Okay. Now, if you want to go up here, you can go up to the sky viewing window. Click on that, and this is what I like to do. Okay, first I'm going to get rid of the stars. Oh no, keep that. And get back to the nighttime sky here. This is what I like to do. You have star lore, which gives you information on the stars. Now, what's really cool is you can go to any constellation, how any culture views the constellations. Like, for example, if you want to see what the Arabic version of the constellations are, you would just type in Arabic, and you'll see that, like, Aries would be called the ram, and these types of things, which is very interesting. Or you can go all the way back to Western and get our Western mindset of what these constellations are called. It doesn't make a difference. But as long as you know what the meaning of these constellations are, because the constellations are talked about in the Bible. You can read about it in Job 38 when it talks about the Mazzaroth, which means the zodiac. And what is the zodiac? The zodiac is all the 12 constellations that are along the ecliptic line. The ecliptic line is the line that the sun makes its revolutions around the Earth every year. So you got that. You got landscapes. You can go here and see which landscapes you want. You can add or remove landscapes if you so choose. This is my favorite part here. Is I usually keep it as stereographic. Is you can pick what you want to put on there. Okay. Now, obviously for the constellations, I have show lines, show labels. I don't have show boundaries on there, so I'll go ahead and click that. And it'll give me the boundaries for each constellation, which is very important because a lot of people will say, hey, look at this sign in the heavens from Revelation 12, the sun and the feet and stuff like that. Well, this is what you call a star chart. And this is very, very accurate to what, the Magi and all the stargazers in the past that studied the stars and dealing with time and calculations, they would have their boundaries around certain constellations. Okay, and it's the same thing today. These are the boundaries, so we can get a rough estimate of what's going on each season. Okay? And also, this is what I like to put on there. I like to put my horizon line here. And you can still see the south, north, east, west markers on there. I like to put the equator markings on there. And you can see that right here. And obviously we see part of the constellations. You have Virgo, which are the zodiac and these types of things, and it goes on with Hydra and Monoceros, Canis Minor, all these types of things. So, and then also what I like to do is I like to put the ecliptic on. Now the ecliptic is obviously the revolution of the sun. Now obviously the sun always falls. This is the fall equinox right here, and then on the other side we have the spring equinox. Okay. Now, this is basically how it works. Like, for example, if you want to fast forward time, or before I get into that, I just want to bring this back up. So again, this is what I usually like to set it every time. You have to come in here and set it yourself every single time. It doesn't save it for you. That's one of the downfalls. But what you would do is, this is what I do, is I usually set it at, so the equator line will show, the horizon line will show, and the ecliptic line will show, and I will click on the show boundaries of each constellation. Okay? And since we know that the zodiac are the 12 constellations that run through the ecliptic, these are the constellations that are talked about in Scripture. Okay? Leo the lion, Cancer, Gemini, Virgo, so on and so forth. Now, I'm going to exit out of this. Let's say if you want to know when the fall equinox is going to happen, you would just fast forward, because fall happens in September. Just fast forward until you get to about here. So we're on the 21st of September 2014. And the revolution of the sun will take us to about here. This is the Virgo. Okay? Now, obviously we see that the sun is about ready to cross the equator for the second time of the year, and that will be called the autumn or fall equinox. So let's just go September 23rd, roughly, and then here we are. Now, to clarify this even more, here's the horizon, and sorry about that, and to determine the exact time of fall, I mean, you can pinpoint it right to the exact second. All you have to do is set it right there, and when you see when the sun is due east directly on the horizon, when it's crossing the ecliptic and the equator, that's your fall equinox. Now, isn't it interesting that every single year for the next, 1,000, 2,000 years, that you'll always have the woman clothed in the sun, and these types of things, and you will always have, well, not always, you don't have it this time, but sometimes, you know, throughout this whole fall season, you will have the moon at her feet. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. Every year this happens. This was not just a case for Elenin. Here's the moon, there's Mercury, and there's Saturn. And this is the fall equinox, and it happens roughly around 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30 in the morning on September 23rd is when the official start of fall starts. And every year it's going to be in the same constellation for quite a number of years. So that's how you determine the fall equinox. Now, if you wanted to determine a new moon to the exact T, or if you just wanted to follow the sun specifically, you just click on the sun, and it'll keep the camera focused on the sun as you go forward or backward in time, and the same thing with the moon. As you can see, it's 0.5% illuminated. Now, if you wanted to figure out when the new moon is to start a biblical month, well, you want to go to where it's anywhere from 0.0 to 0.2 illuminated. Okay, so obviously I'm going backwards, and I don't want to do that. So, anyways, so now we're back at the current time, April 23rd. And, let's see. And we got April 28th. Okay. Now, I'm going to go find my moon here. Where'd you go? There you are. So obviously here we have the moon. This is the new moon when it's at conjunction. Okay. Now, sometimes a biblical month is 30 days, sometimes a biblical month is 29 days. Alright? We don't go by the sliver to figure out when the new moon is. Okay? That's what the current Hillel II calendar does, and that's not accurate. That's also a tradition that the rabbis picked up after their captivity in Babylon. They did not always do this. Okay, so what you would do, you got the 0.0% moon illuminated at conjunction. This is what you do. Okay, get out of this. You go to a lunar solar calendar. Alright. Again, I have this set at Jerusalem. I don't need to have it set at Jerusalem. I'll go back to my, and here we have the Gregorian calendar that's matched up with the lunar solar calendar. Okay? Now, here we have the new moon, 0.0% illuminated, which is the 29th. Okay. Which would have been sunset, basically. And so you would go here. This would be the last day of the month here. So the first day of the next biblical month would begin on the 30th of April, which would be the second month of the biblical year. And you would just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, plus 7 is 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, new moon, and you count again, 1, 2, so on and so forth. And that's basically how you count the cycles of the biblical month. It's just that simple. And that's how you determine when truly the Passover occurs and everything like that, because every single year is a day off. Okay, because they have their calculations all mixed up. And sometimes it occurs a month off. Okay, so you gotta bear that in mind too. So I hope this has been, helpful to those that want to learn how to use Stellarium. If you got any more questions, feel free to message me or send me a comment, and I will be happy to answer them for you. And hopefully this is a helpful tool to help you learn and understand the sun, the moon, and the stars according to Scripture. So, truth be told, truth be known, stay safe, God bless, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.